All right, so now we are going to make our macaroni and cheese. Again, we are prepping. So when I'm finished, it's gonna go in the casserole pan, and then it is going to go in the refrigerator until I'm ready to make it for my family for Christmas. Right now, I have a stick of butter in a small saucepan. We're gonna do our cheese sauce. So the key to my macaroni is I make a cheese sauce to toss my noodles in before layering the cheese into the pan. So right now, we are gonna make the cheese sauce while our water is boiling for our noodles. I choose to use corkscrew noodles. I just like the way that they look, but it is okay if you use regular elbow noodles or jumbo noodles. It's really your preference. And if you're a shells person, you can also opt for shells, but I like the corkscrew noodles. Waiting on this butter to melt just so we can go through the ingredients. What I also did was 1.5 blocks of white cheddar. I did not grate this because one, I'm making a cheese sauce, and then when I cut it this way, instead of grating it, I get these nice pockets of cheese throughout my casserole with the sharp cheddar. So you can grate your white cheddar if that's something you want to do, but I personally like the chunks the way that they are, and I like the way I cut it, so that way, again, I have the nice pockets of cheese in my macaroni once it's baked. And also too, since we are making a roux, part of this is gonna go in the roux, so there was no need for me to spend so much time grating the cheese. We're also going to put in our roux a jar of Kraft Cheez Whiz. I like this better than Velveeta as a cheese base. For some reason, it just tastes better to me. We're gonna use salt and pepper in this traditional, and then we're gonna also use a pound of the Kraft sharp cheddar cheese. I'm gonna spray my casserole dish with cooking spray, and we're gonna use a cup of milk in the roux as well. We're also gonna use 4 ounces of cream cheese. I just feel like it makes the macaroni a lot creamier, and once it's all together, it just tastes great. So follow this recipe. Again, you can switch out your noodles for whatever you like. If you like different cheeses, you can opt to do other cheeses than extra sharp white cheddar and the sharp cheddar. It's really up to you. You can kind of get creative with this, but I better not hear you putting vegetables in this recipe because they do not belong in macaroni and cheese. And please, for the love of God, do not use whole wheat noodles or trying to trick your guests. Just don't do it. It's the holidays, give them what they came for. So right now this butter has melted down. So since it has melted down, I'm gonna turn the volume down, well, the temperature down to medium low, because I do not want my roux to burn. I just want everything to melt nicely. I'm going to show you a trick to get this jar open because it is giving me trouble. And you can do this with a pickle jar too. If you wedge a knife in, you hear that pop. Once that pops, it easily comes off. And again, I'm going to use the whole jar of the Cheez Whiz. Okay, so gotten the cheese out of the Cheez Whiz jar. Next thing, I did 4 ounces of whipped cream cheese. Use this spatula. And that butter should make sure that nothing sticks. So I really highly suggest you start with the butter and let that get melted down. I'm gonna use half of the cheese, the white cheddar cheese in this roux. The rest of it's gonna go in between my layers of macaroni when I get it into the pan. Got my Kraft sharp cheddar. It's the creamy melt. You can use the regular. If you prefer the fancy shredded, you can do that too. It ends up being a pound of cheese, so if you prefer to shred or grate your own cheese, you can do that as well. I'm going to use half of this bag in the roux. The rest of it's gonna go in between my layers of macaroni once I get it in the pan. And then I have a cup of milk. I do about half to start. And I don't try to harp and put exact measurements because as I cook and the way that I do things, I've been doing some things so long, I make adjustments as I go. But I will update you with those adjustments if I've added anything that's not in the list. This is making a really good cheese sauce, and my water is rumbling where I can put the noodles in and let those start cooking. So I'm gonna pause this, let it kind of go, and again I use the corkscrew pasta, and this is a pound. And according to these instructions, 8 to 9 minutes will make it al dente. I'm going to do it a minute less because, again, this is going in the oven and you do not want soggy noodles. Got my noodles in. I'm going to set a timer. Wooden spoon. Just going to give those a little twirl. And then I'm going to set this wooden spoon on top of the pot. For some reason it does keep the water from boiling over. I've learned that to be a really good trick. I don't know the science behind it, but I do know that it works. So I'm leaving that wooden spoon on top of my pot so the water doesn't boil out. Get back to this roux, let it simmer some more. And I want this to be smooth. I want this to be a cheese sauce. So I am going to crank up the heat just a little to about medium. And I'm going to add the rest of the milk in. Smoother. Alright, the cheese is very smooth now. Our noodles are done. So I'm gonna get a colander, drain those, and I will be right back. I wanted to show you this quick little trick. So instead of putting your colander in the sink, if you actually place the colander into your pot, you can pour all the water out and you don't lose any of your noodles. Voila. All right, we're back. We've got the noodles drained and our cheese sauce is ready. So what I'm going to do is just pour this cheese sauce into the macaroni noodles. I want to make sure I get it all in there. And stir that in. Technically, if you were a stovetop macaroni person, you could probably just eat it like that and add some more cheese. But we are going to do a baked macaroni and cheese today. All right, so I've got the cheese roux in. I'm gonna do some kosher salt. And a little bit of pepper. I know I tell you there's more seasonings than salt and pepper, but they don't actually belong in mac and cheese. I think maybe the only exception would probably be Lowry's. Because Lowry's is just good. My noodles are covered in cheese. They have their seasoning, so we're gonna put it in a pan. I have a 13x9 casserole dish already sprayed with cooking spray, and I'm gonna put half of the noodles in right now, and then we're gonna layer some cheese. Just so you guys can see. We have half of the noodles in. Now we're going to take half of this white cheddar that's left, sprinkle it on top. And the rest of that bag from the cheese roux that we did not use. I'm also going to do a little bit more salt and pepper. And then we're going to do the same thing with the rest of the noodles and the roux. Because I do the roux, there's no need for me to do an egg. You know, some traditional recipes call for the egg. I stopped doing the egg a while ago because I didn't like having to wait on the egg to cool for the macaroni to taste proper. So this is an egg-free recipe. Alright, let's smooth that out. If you're gonna use one of those big, deep lasagna pans, you can always double this recipe if you've got more folks coming for the holidays. This is just enough for who all I have coming. Of that white cheddar across. And we've got our sharp cheddar. And we are done. I'm just going to cover this, and again, I'm going to put it in the refrigerator. Okay, I wanted to show you this trick before I cover the macaroni. This is a deeper casserole dish, but sometimes if you use a regular casserole dish, your macaroni would be at the top, and you don't want the macaroni noodles to stick to your foil. Now, you can spring and get the Reynolds Wrap non-stick foil and use that non-stick side. It will do the same thing. But if you want to save a little bit of money, you've already got cooking spray, you can get your cheaper foil. You can just spray it with cooking spray, and that will keep it from sticking. I'm gonna flip this over. Now I don't have to worry about my macaroni sticking to the top of the foil. So, there you have it. All right, so my macaroni is prepped. It is ready to go into the oven. For this one, you're going to want to do 375 for about 30 minutes. You want the sides to be a little bit brown, and you want the cheese to bubble. Do not overcook this. You don't want stiff macaroni, so make sure that you do set a timer. And I hope that this helps you make a creamy and delicious mac and cheese for you and your loved ones. Happy holidays. Thank you so much for watching this part of the holiday prep series. I hope you enjoy this macaroni and cheese recipe. Up next, we have candied yams, bacon wrapped asparagus, and fried corn. If you are looking for the entire grocery list for this holiday feast, please head to the turkey and gravy video. It is listed in the caption. Each recipe will have the ingredients and the grocery list for that specific item. Again, please like, follow, subscribe, and share this with your friends. And I hope you enjoy this holiday prep series. Thanks for watching.